welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. So this video is going to be about Airbnb. They recently, about a week ago, announced a bunch of new upgrades and changes to their website, app, and features. So they have over 100 changes to their app that are going to make the experience for the host and the guests more desirable. So I'm not going to highlight everything because there's quite a few things that they upgraded. I wanted to focus on the host experience. So as being a host of Airbnb, what have they done to make it easier and just more user-friendly for the hosts? So to start off, they have a new hosting page. They have a 10-step process that you go through for becoming a host, and it really walks you through step by step what you need to do in order to maximize revenue and also just make sure your place is set up properly to be successful as a host and becoming a super host. So there are certain criteria that you have to become a super host, which include really good ratings and reviews, and then also the amount of stays you have over a time period, and how many nights your home is booked. So if you become a super host, your home is featured at the top of the list when people search for your area or your town. So they also have added a Today tab, which helps the host manage any bookings or things that need to be done on that day. So they really try to make it easier for us to host. So some of the other features, I'm not going to go too in-depth because there are a lot of them. Some of the things that I wanted to highlight are what's my place worth. So they've updated their calculator to make it easier to estimate your potential earnings and what you could charge per night for your property. So this is really good because I noticed in the past the calculator seemed a bit off. It was, from my point of view, really low for the area that our house was in. So I didn't necessarily really use the calculator that much because it just didn't seem to be helpful. So I'm really glad that they've updated that to really be more efficient and help you get an idea of what you can make with your property. So we also have, for hosts, one cool thing is you can easily add amenities, and then they also auto arrange your photos. So they know what the guests are looking for. So they take the photos that you upload and you can have them auto arranged because people don't always look at all the photos that you upload. They might look at the first 4 or 5, and then if they don't like what they see, they go to another house. So they do this auto arranging to make sure that the most desirable photos are first, and then that will help get the most guests to look at your listing more and possibly book. So that's really cool. Another nice thing is suggested titles. So they have an automatic suggestion based on the information provided on your listing. So for example, it might highlight features of the home, like if there's a pool, if it has beach access, if it's close to a shopping center, it would have those different features possibly in the title. So that can help you also get more bookings and more eyes on your listing. So they've done a lot of work around the pricing. So making the pricing simpler and then the suggested pricing. So that a lot of times with an Airbnb is the tricky part. How do you price your place? So I think they've taken some of the guesswork out of that and made it a lot easier to find that price that will get people into the listing and booking, but to also make sure that you're turning a good profit and you're making the money that you need to and able to, keep going with Airbnb and just to meet the goals that you have specifically in mind. So another really cool thing they've done is they've had super hosts that sign up for either mentoring or texting. I actually experienced this the other day. I had a question about something and I sent a message to Airbnb, and the person that answered me was actually a Superhost, and he was able to give me all the information I needed. So they're really leveraging their Superhosts to help answer some of these questions, and you don't go directly to support. And the benefit for a host is that you're talking to somebody who's been there, who's done that, right? So these Superhosts, they've had a lot of guests, they've been successful, they have good ratings, good reviews, and they're able to give you answers not only from a script like a support team might, but from actual experience of what's worked for them and suggestions. So the feedback I got from the Superhost was very helpful. So I think this is a really great thing that they've done, kind of connecting hosts with Superhosts to get those questions answered. So there are a lot more things here having to do with news and updates and the inbox. They've done work on the inbox that I've noticed. I actually had a video about scheduled messages. So make sure to check that out. That's a really cool feature, one of my favorite. So that makes it much easier to communicate with the guests and takes a lot of the time out of typing an individualized message for each guest. And then also, I think this is cool here, insights for experiences. So when they book your house, they will get notifications about experiences nearby. So for example, our house in Jamaica, they might get a notification about someone who's giving a cooking class nearby, or a beach tour, or something like that. So the experiences are now kind of hooked in with the hosting so that they get a complete experience, which I think is really great, because sometimes when people stay at an Airbnb, they can feel disconnected from the community. When you stay in a hotel or a resort, you have a concierge, you have hotel staff, the front desk that you can ask, where's a good place to eat? Where should I go and do this? And in an Airbnb, you don't necessarily have that. You're kind of out there on your own, doing your own thing. And it's great if you know the area and know where to go. But if it's your first time going somewhere, or you don't know the area very well, it can really help to have these experiences linked into your stay, so you can get an idea of things in the area to do and experiences that you might want to have while you're staying at that home. So I think that's really cool. So they've also added a lot of support for the global community. I won't go through all this, guys, because like I said, it's over 100 changes that they made to the website, to the services, to the support, just kind of an all-around thing. And I think this really resulted from coronavirus, from COVID, because Airbnb has seen a huge influx in business during COVID, because people are looking for stays that are away from crowds, right? So if you stay in a hotel, a resort, you're going to have to wear your mask in the elevator, in the lobby, all these places. But when you have your own space, your own home or apartment through an Airbnb, you're more secluded and you have a little more freedom as far as face masks or social distancing, things like that. You're in your own space. So they've seen a huge influx in business. I've definitely seen that on our listing this year. Last year was a really bad year in 2020 because nobody could travel, and people were very apprehensive about traveling. But now that people are back traveling, the last few months and into going into the end of this year, we have tons of bookings for our house. People are starting to travel again and getting excited about it, and they're really looking to book places on Airbnb, so they are a little more secluded, because even though people are traveling, they're a little apprehensive still. So they want their own space, they want their privacy and their, kind of safety net of having their own space. So if you are hosting on Airbnb or looking to host, it's a really good time to get into hosting. I think you would have a lot of success now, and of course into the future. So I have seen a big influx in bookings the last few months and into the end of the year. So it's a great time to get in on it or continue hosting. So a lot of these features are going to make it much easier for hosts, much easier for guests to book and have flexibility and much more information at their fingertips. So I think it's a really great update that they've done. I'll put a link to this page in the description if you guys want to check it out. If you are a host, you already have this information because they had a meeting and sent out emails and notifications. If you're looking to get into Airbnb, this is information you wouldn't necessarily have. So I'll put the link for those of you that are looking to get into this in the future to give you an idea of some of the functionality that they've added. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave it in comments and make sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time.